apologizing to the people that he's hurt. That family that he gave $2 million to, that's the exception, not the rule.
And he kept a big portion of that money.
He kept 20% of it.
20% of
The
how
US.
many millions?
So
that leaves him with 2.7 million that he kept.
No, he didn't keep 2.7. He gave away 2.7, but he kept basically 20% from the U.S. That's what the U.S. then still consider him. The agreement was basically like this: for $2.7 billion, they were supposed to drop sanctions for everything he did. That was just conversation. He basically gave away $2.7 billion to say, it's like, who's going to give $2.7 billion away? Not that easy. If he wanted war, basically he wouldn't not have given. He's trying to work. The U.S. didn't really want to do sanctions. They wanted to keep sanctions against him, but still.
He wants to work the U.S. He wants to work them over.
But the U.S. wants to do the same thing. Usually when you do separate relations, there's benefits for both sides of it.
Yeah, so that's if you're confrontation, like face to face. So if you're going face to face, yeah, he knows we have a big army. He knows we are the strongest army in the world at this point. But what happens when we let him in? That's not going to be face to face. That's going to be him inside. And what happens then? He's in our country.
We're not going to let him in.
No. If we negotiate with him, we're letting him in.
We're negotiating with him. We're not giving him a house over on 34th. Okay, we're just negotiating. We're just talking to him.
Well,
okay?
it's oil.
There's nothing bad that can come from talking to people. Okay, if you talk to people, you can work out deals. Okay, he might try to do something. You never know. People can do that. People can be two-faced and sneaky, but people can also be, old as hell and scared as hell of the U.S. And if he is scared as hell, he's not going to do anything. Because I know that we are not dumb enough to let him in and have no one watching him. The CIA and the FBI are a whole hell of a lot better than that. Even if he doesn't want to change for us, which he does. Even if he doesn't want to change to fit what we want, we can make it change. Okay? It's called the CIA and it's called a coup d'etat. It's not hard. We've done it many times. We're pretty good at it, too.
I don't know, the FBI, they were watching. The FBI had men, and we actually have writings from them saying they know that he did it. They know that he said, go ahead with the Lockerbie bombing. They couldn't prove it. They knew it. They couldn't prove it. They couldn't do anything about it. They could not make him accept responsibility for it. So where is the FBI for us then?
They did bomb Libya because of that. They dropped the tripod. That's basically after that happened about the Lockerbie. What you said, right? I'm sorry, I can't say that big word. Basically, after consequences of that was the U.S. bombing. That's basically when his 15-year-old adopted daughter got killed. So U.S. did take actions against that.
That was also after he bombed a discotheque and he killed a bunch of American soldiers.
Oh, you said about being aware to the FBI. FBI doesn't matter. FBI only research.
They report, but then they report to who? They report to the higher-ups. Then who did anything then?
Somewhere along that path, someone did not make him responsible for the atrocities he's committed. And again, it's the exception, not the rule, when it does.
And speaking of atrocities, we have a PowerPoint. You just can kind of click through. Yeah, I know, just click some more. You've been clicking while we were talking, so go ahead and go to the second slide.
Can you turn off the lights real quick?
So this is one of his recent acts. This is one of his atrocities.
All
that you cannot forgive. He's been tied to over 343 deaths that he can be directly tied to. This was 1,200 political prisoners. There is no freedom there. There is no freedom of speech. There is no, if they don't like it, they can't say it. So it's going to come down to the same thing. We can tell him we don't like it, and he may say, oh, okay, that's fine. And he may try, say that he's going to change it, but he's not really going to change it. It's stuff that happens from him.
But the U.S. does this too. With Guantanamo Bay, that's where we stand. We use 3% people.
And that's why Obama is moving to get Guantanamo Bay closed down, because he knows that was a dark part of our history. We claimed responsibility for that. and now we're looking to amend our actions.
Isn't that
So-
the same thing he's doing though?
No, absolutely not.
That's the same thing we're trying to get him to do.
When he did that long rambling speech that Saturday Night Live did a skit about, he was wearing an African pin. Now, once you have learned about the atrocities he's committed in Africa alone, you understand the true irony, how disconnected he is with what he's done to that country, and then just wears the pin on his first UN speech.
But that's what
And
I was
speaking of
saying.
this, he thought this was acceptable. He said they deserved it.
And
You
those
know, he
are
did.
his own people, right?
Yeah, yeah, these are political prisoners who
They're from
spoke out
his
against
country.
him. And to talk about favoritism and how he portrays, you know, he says that he accepts that what, you know, his word is. The person who is responsible for the Lockerbie bombing was imprisoned in Scotland, right? Guy's dying of terminal cancer. And so, you know, he's Gaddafi's lieutenant, one of his very special guys. So Gaddafi goes and they ask for this guy to be released. So they release him because they say that it's humane to let him die in his own country and die humanely. Well, at the same time, there's this other guy who spoke out against Gaddafi, saying that he wasn't a fit ruler, didn't agree with his teachings. Gaddafi had him put in prison, had him tortured, had him given no medical care. Well, they had people, you know, the freedom forces from Libya writing to American government saying, can you please talk to him? You know, you've got some influence with him. Can you please ask for the release of this man? And they did. And Gaddafi let him go and had him arrested 2 years later again and tortured once again until he died. And it was because he received no medical help. And Gaddafi had him transferred out of the prison last minute to say that he didn't die in prison. But that shows you where he stands. It's like, yes, he will say that, okay, you know, you asked for me to release him. You know, you're the big dog. I get it. I'll do it. You know, and so he released him. But he also made sure that he came back and he got it worse until he died. And it also shows where people stand with Gaddafi. You know, if you speak out against them, that's what happens. You know, and that's what he plans on doing. You know, the U.S., once he gets in good with us, if we do something that he can't handle or he decides he doesn't like, he'll find a way to make sure stuff happens.
Hey, and guess what? If you speak out against the U.S., you end up dying. Look at Saddam Hussein.
How long did it take us?
We go all over the world, and we put our military in places where a lot of people think we shouldn't be.
Can we
We
afford
kill
to
a
do
lot
that
of
now?
people who a lot of people think we should kill. Okay?
But
But
we
we're
can't manage
but
to
we're
find
the
a
good
lot
guys.
of that are.
We're the good guys somehow. But we go all over the world and we kill. That's what we do.
So you see what
That's
you
what
want to
America does pretty good
Because
too.
when we go into
So-
another country and shatter their political structure, we keep our soldiers there so that it doesn't go back into disarray. We do our best. A lot of our politicians have admitted that our recent political actions in the last decade have been harsh, have been harried, have been not well planned.
So
And we're making moves to make that better, whereas Gaddafi is not. Again, he is not looking to atone. He is not looking to go back, acknowledge what he's done, acknowledge what he's done to those different people, make a spectacle of it, go on TV, admit what you've done wrong, and atone for it. He's not made that step of responsibility. Now, how can we go into diplomacy and making business deals with that kind of person? I mean, at what point does this oil that we're supposedly bargaining for become worth our moral integrity?
It always has been, and it always will be. Because oil is the lifeblood of the U.S. U.S.
Well,
is-
we're trying to change
no, let me
that
finish,
now,
let me
isn't
finish.
it?
No, we're not trying to change that. It may look like we are, but we're not. Oil is used for more than cars. We may have green cars, but we still need styrofoam, we still need plastic, we still need rubber, we still need particle board, we still need metal, we still need everything which oil helps give us.
So why do we need it from him?
Do what?
Why do we need it
Why
from
do we
him?
need it from him?
Why
We
do we
don't
need
have,
to-
They have
Because-
large quantities.
doesn't matter. We can still get it from other places.
Canada.
Because we can get it from him.
Down the street.
Not really.
He's trying to work with us on this
He
situation.
wants to establish
That's
his
a last
economy, help his country as well as us. He wants to negotiate with foreign countries. So it's going to benefit both of us.
I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to butter us up. This man, he has been seen to be very fickle, very two-faced. First of all, he goes on, he gets titled prime minister. Oh no, wait, I'm going to be a colonel. Then he started, let's do this kind of government, some kind of direct democracy. Oh no, wait, let's go back to this regime thing.